What's going on? How are you? This is episode 3 of the Tom Carlson Show for Monday, June 8th, 2020. What is going on, beautiful people? Fuck. What a week. So, I think everybody by now. If there's anybody out there who doesn't know what's going on, I'd like to know that person. So, I've had a rough week myself, and the way I handle things is, I think you have to address it. So, you know, good people come into your life, and you know, I had a person, you know, come into my life relatively recently, and you know, I was going through, you know, some shit just with Corona, the chaos that's going on here, all that stuff going on, trying to do work, trying to do this, and that person kind of, you know, was my rock and allowed me to, the whole reason I'm able to do this show. And you know, you can't, well, you can, totally, but you should be, or I need to be more grateful for people being good to me. So, hopefully, you know, if this show ever gets out there, some of you youngins will hear this and, you know, take that to heart. So, shout out to that person. And with that, I think we will start the show. Typically, I don't want to be doing any of this civics. I'm not here to tell anybody what to fucking do. I'm so sick of the social media blasting coming at me. But you know, this is an important time, and I thought I might share some things people would like to hear. So what I've seen with this whole situation, and you know, I'm living in New York, and for the most part, all the protests I've seen have been really, you know, amazing. And there's all kinds of different people working together as a community, and it's been great. So that's been really good to see. I think where I've been conflicted is seeing social media, and you know, it takes a thief to spot a thief, and so I want, you know, I when I was seeing everything going on, I was going to approach this episode going scorched earth on everybody, and you know, coming at it from a perspective where, you know, Instagram isn't anything. Instagram's not going to do shit. People getting upset on Instagram about Instagram. And I was just screenshotting stuff I'm seeing, and I was going to post it up on the TV and just rip it apart, but I have no, you know, who am I to do that? So I think what I'd like to offer is some of my own insight. I have talked to some people, some older people, who referenced the 1968 election that Nixon ended up winning, and there was strikingly similar protests and civil unrests at the time. So I would, what I would like to see is people stop reacting emotionally so much, and you know, change isn't going to happen in overnight with a fucking Instagram post. Great. I can't wait to see all of the I voted stickers come election time. Like Chris Rock said, what you want, a cookie? So my experience with change. So here's what I was offering. Until a little over 2 years ago, I was kind of a piece of shit human being, and only interested in myself. And I was like that for, 27, started probably when I was 15, so for 12 years. And it wouldn't matter what anyone told me, the message was not being received. So what I was thinking during this whole time was like, I was thinking to myself, like, no one actually believes they're wrong. They may know they're wrong, but they can figure out a way in their own head to believe they're actually right still. And so what happened with me was, it's been a little over 2 years since I've been sober. And my transition from the start of that till now is, 180-degree difference. But, I have hurt people left and right, and I'm still trying to figure out the best way to, make amends with those things. And when I decided I wanted to be more of a offering, as opposed to just another fucking asshole being obnoxious on Twitter, is sharing some of the thoughts and ideas of what worked for me in change, because what I'm seeing is people are very short-sighted with all of this, and I think there are some nuggets within the AA world, because that is change in itself. So I'm just going to run through a couple of things I wrote down. So AA offerings and nuggets. Attraction rather than promotion. Mind your side of the fence, which kind of sounds fucked up at this time, but that's me to make sure you are doing you're right. You're doing the right things. The Serenity Prayer, which is here. Let me grab it. So I have this sticker that I forget where I got it, but you gotta keep little tokens around. It says, God grant me serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That's probably what I've thought about the most with this whole thing. And then the biggest, one of my favorite things someone ever told me in AA or in that world was like, you are not unique. Don't ever think your situation or your thoughts or your ideas are unique, and you're just this unique individual that no one else could ever understand. I think that's probably all I want to go over with my offerings. I do have a ton of stuff if anyone wants to pursue the path of self-care, which I think my idea with all of this is people really need to focus on themselves right now, and make sure their heart is in the right place, because at the end of the day, a person's heart is what's the problem with all this shit. So this show is not a fucking civics lesson. I am not informed, but if anybody wants some offerings, I'll give them to you this one show. These are 3 books that made a significant impact on me post sobriety. Man's Search for Meaning is a book by Viktor Frankl, who survived the concentration camps in Germany, and he figured out a way to continue where other prisoners succumb to despair, and that thinking is it's called logotherapy, and it's an entirely new, or at least it was at the time, kind of philosophical leaning. My guy, I'm going to butcher this, Thich Nhat Hanh, you are here, and the wonderful teachings of being present, and how I even have it up on my board here. I had to remind myself the other day because I was getting all flustered. 1 minute at a time, because that's all there is. What I said 1 second ago isn't here, and what I'm thinking about isn't here, and me trying to think about that doesn't help anyone, as you can tell. Can't Hurt Me is awesome. I suggest following him on Twitter for insight into what's currently going on. He's a black guy from Ohio who endured just insane, racism and all that too. And it's kind of his story on how he went from being a fat piece of shit to a decorated Navy SEAL, and then his lists go on and on. So that's it for me, trying to be a fucking preacher. But I thought there's no way to do a show without addressing what's going on right now. I think what I'd like to see is people listening more and not telling people what to do. Because the last thing I want to listen to is someone yelling at me or literally telling me that what to do on Instagram. Like, so I made a list of of how to get an unfollow from Instagram, and we will run through these real quick. Virtue signaling, which I know right now I'm not calling any of this shit virtue signaling because it's what's happening. But in regular time, I don't need you to explain to me that you're a good person, because I operate that all people are good people until proven otherwise. So I don't need to know. You don't need to impose how good of a person you are on me. Let's see. Hose, I wrote down. Can't stand that because I noticed with all this, I'm like, I have my Instagram. I've had Instagram since, let's see, 2013, I think. And I basically, if you remember Instagram when you first got it, my original thought was just like, oh, so this is fucking cool. Like, I can show this to my friends, and maybe a chick will like it, and see what I can do with that. That was the whole thing, and that's kind of how I've operated, and I've just seen it turn into this monster. And so I would like people to see or understand that it's not even communicating at this point. Blasting your message at some point, it loses its effectiveness, because I can't even remember all of the fucking things I've seen on Instagram at this point. There's been just so many, like, what the fuck, what's going on? And so, hopefully, cooler heads will prevail. I see in New York here, they've got I don't know what you call it, a movement or a slogan or whatever, a slogan at a protest for defund the police, which sounds scary as a privileged white person, but it's not like not having police. It's actually a great idea, which would be focusing more of the money towards communities and allowing communities to take care of themselves. So if you're funding, stuff for kids to do after school so they're safe and not having to get involved with shady shit. So that was an interesting idea, and I just hope people understand and listen to older people who know things. Because I did see a few articles, and I have a sneaking suspicion that Trump's going to get it again. And we shall see. But you can't just mute the other side. You have to figure out a way to. If your solution is just mute the other side and not listen to them, that means you're incapable or not smart enough to communicate well enough with another human being that you can get them to wrap their head around a different philosophy. Which is, people have been doing this for a long fucking time, and there are ways and examples of how to do things. I don't need to see fucking you quoting a goddamn celebrity on your Instagram. That's not your thought, that's theirs. And we all follow that person, so we've seen it. Let's see, what else we have going on in New York since last week. Last week I did the fishing story, Fish in the Bag. And if there's any artists out there who can draw a 2-foot fish in a plastic bag, let me know. Maybe I can make something happen for you. And we also went over the snake in a bag. Same thing for that. Ideally, I'm talking cobra. And I think based on the feedback I got, I'm thinking the bag's not even really there for the most part. They're still seeing the same thing, but they feel the bag, and so they know they can't bite anyone, so they just kind of chill. So we solved it, guys. Great job. I have transitioned. I know you guys will all accept me for my transitioning, and I'm so thankful. We're in such a welcoming new world, but I have transitioned, fully transitioned at this point to I will only be drinking out of glass water bottles. I have acted like a broke ass for fucking 15 years drinking out of plastic water bottles, which is disgusting. Now that I have a wonderful glass water bottle, but I know is not giving me cancer. So that's been my transition. I got into horse racing, and I fucking get it now. I think I'm going to start, I might buy, they offer packages so I can watch horse racing across the world, and I get it, because they had some races this week in Belmont here in New York, and then out in Santa Anita in California, and I placed my first bet on the first race I could see, and I hit it. Bam. Betting like a smart person, not going crazy, doing the right thing. You're going to get money back, but it's going to take time. But, what's the fun in that? My addict brain is not going to just be okay with that. So it's all right. Take my $5 winnings, and I slap that down on the next one on a horse. $5 could win me $110. And dude, horse number 3, fastest horse there from a speed point of view, but god damn it, he had it until there were 3 quarters, and then he just got wiped out. But and then I tried one more, back again. So that's kind of in my betting history at this point. If anybody knows any websites that I can get some more info on these horses, let me know. Because I mean, there's only like 6 horses running in some of these. And if you had an in with some of this, you could just cash in. So I get horse racing now. Big horse racing guy, forever. And then news since, oh yeah, I had this, not to go back to all that bullshit, but there's people coming from out of state to New York right now. People from California specifically, trying to make noise and be in these protests and shit. And New York's got voices for themselves. Get the fuck out of here. We still have Corona. Remember Corona? New York is still in Corona. Like everybody's doing these fucking protests in masks. And we don't need nobody else coming in here. So I'm glad I did say that. And then the only new thing going on in my life since last week that's notable is a guy in my apartment. I don't remember. He's on the 2nd floor. We were walking down the stairs to go out for a walk, and this guy's just like moaning, like, oh, like I can't do it loud because I'm too embarrassed. Like he was just getting blown and just like right about to, orgasm. But like the loudest I have ever heard someone do it, and I don't know what was going on, but I'm gonna look at the 2nd floor males quite differently. And there's only on each floor in this building, there's only 4 apartments. So if I can figure out who that person is, I won't let you know, but I'll describe the guy. So with that, I saw this thing like David Guetta remixed a song with Martin Luther King in the background. Just being, I don't even know where that dude's from, but he's just shouting out to all these people that have been killed over here. Shout out to who? Dude, get the fuck out of here. Anyways, hopefully, cooler heads will prevail, love will prevail. I'm just a kid, fucking want to see everybody play nice at recess. So, appreciate y'all. And I will be doing more shows, or more of this show, at least weekly, maybe twice a week. And hopefully if you motherfuckers behave, we won't have to have another shitty one like this. So as my good friend, my mentor, Bill Burr would say, go fuck yourselves. And when I say that, I mean that with love. All right. Take care, everybody.